Good morning. It is morning, so I'll say good morning instead of my usual hello, and welcome to the Red Sauce Podcast with Papa Joe, where we talk about anything and everything Italian and Italian American. I'm your host, Papa Joe, Il Capovinaio and Il Stugazzo di Tutti Stugazzi at Papa Joes Wine Cellar. Joining me are my daughters, Katie, La Capovinaia. She's going to be taking over for me in time, slowly.
Getting there, yeah.
A student of the Italian language and culture, and Beth, who is our Nike Sabandi of winemaking. In other words, she's not the sixth man, she's the third man or third woman or whatever, but she comes off the bench and does a great job. Because she's now part-time with us.
But I could be a starter anywhere else in the ACC.
Yep, and you're a...
You really could be.
Can you guys hear better now?
Yeah.
These things were like turned down. I thought that they were connected. Sorry, everybody.
That's okay, and she's also a gangster movie aficionado and the top pit fan. New episodes are supposed to drop bi-weekly, although they haven't lately, but we're in we're in a transition here, and
we're working on it.
Yeah, and we're just a little bit less well, we got a lot of shit going on, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To
say the least.
Should we update them on the
progress?
progress?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still nothing's definite, although I think it's getting more so. Our most likely place to land is now probably going to be Zealy and Opal. We're hoping to bring in Pixie Paula Dazzuti from Striped Pig Winery or Striped Pig Distillery in Charleston, South Carolina, to sell her spirits, and hopefully we'll make some wine for her. But anyway, that's where we are now. I would say that the best we'd probably do right now is September, but we'll see how it goes. We're still in the these things go together slowly, unfortunately.
But until then, we are working on getting our wine cellar or our online wine store up and running, and we do have a shipping license.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to be working on that, so we will be able to ship wine. And then we're also close to starting our wine club.
Right, our wine club, and actually we'll probably be doing some winemaking classes this fall at our new wine production facility in Freedom.
Yeah.
New Sewickley Township on Freedom Crider Road.
Yeah.
Three to four times as big as the garage we've been doing it in. So hopefully we'll be able to expand soon, too. So anyway, that's it. So, Katie, What are we doing today?
All right. Today we're going to talk about Italian-style wines, and we're going to start with Italian whites. This is going to be a multi-part episode because I do have, I believe, four whites and 4 reds. And, a whole bunch of our bullshit in the middle, like my notes, but you guys is bullshit in the middle. Your input. So we're only gonna.
Mine's definitely bullshit.
Well, yes, we're gonna start with. Well, Beth wants some wine right now, so
you guys believe this? This is the first time I think we've ever started a episode without already having wine in our glass. So I'm gonna be here talking shit on Katie for a minute.
Have some Falanghina. Thanks. I'll have a little bit too. We'll talk about this in a minute, but I do want to get Dad. You good?
And also check out Katie's meat and cheese plate because it's beautiful, and that's my breakfast. So
that is breakfast.
Should we get some crackers with it too?
Oh yeah, we have crackers up on the bar.
I'll get them. I'll make sure that the camera's recording too because you never know.
It's an iPhone. This time we're actually okay. Well,
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with this. What makes an old world Southern Italian wine? So you, Dad, know definitely old world versus new world wines.
Yeah.
Beth, do you know about them? Like, what is old world and what is new world?
Is it where they come from?
Well, it is.
Yes.
But
more specifically, old world is Europe, and then sometimes like the Middle East, like Lebanon, Israel, stuff like that.
Okay.
New world is literally everywhere else.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a European wine, you're going to be looking for like an old world wine.
Okay.
So this is Wine Folly's definition.
Sorry, these are wheat. These are like Wonder Bread, but that's all right. They're crackers.
That's okay.
Dad brought them. It's his fault.
They're good still, but bread.
So Wine Folly's definition is old world wines tend to have lighter body, lower alcohol, higher acidity, and less fruity flavor with more minerality. New world wines tend to be fuller bodied, higher alcohol, lower acidity, and more pronounced fruit flavors. Obviously, there are going to be, some differences here and there depending on climate, but the old world wines are going to be a little bit more earthy. And then oak, old world uses more of a neutral oak, like a French oak. New World is a newer oak. So New World climates tend to be warmer, but that's not always the case. It like whoa, nice catch, Beth.
Thanks, I planned that.
Maybe I should get some glasses with stems.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
First time was the dogs.
First time was the dogs. Oh, we forgot to introduce them.
Yeah, we're like Packer and Durham. This is Luca.
I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, Lambo's over by me. Luca's
They're
our
both
chocolate
girls,
lab.
but they have what some would call boy names.
Luca Brazzi is our chocolate lab, and Lambo Field is our yellow lab.
Lambo Field.
I've been calling her that since we
I know.
got her.
This is funny.
Yeah, it's not Curly Lambo, it's Lambo Field. Anyway, Old World wines are heavily restricted and like there are high standards to follow, whereas there's more experimentation and, you know, just more leeway to do what you want and more experimentation in general with New World wines, and more emphasis on more modern technology, whereas, you know, there's a lot of tradition with Old World wines. I'm going to go back and talk really quickly about the history of wine in Italy. Italy, there's been wine made in Italy for at least 4,000 years. Ancient people, Greeks, Romans, medieval, Renaissance times, all of that into modern times, everybody's been making wine. The Greeks actually named Italy Enotria, which means the land of trained vines when they got there in the 8th century BCE. The method back then was foot stomping and storage was in terracotta jars. The Mycenaean Greeks introduced viticulture to southern Italy and Sicily. So there was in mainland, you know, higher up Italy, there was some cultivation of wine grapes, but the Greeks brought it south. There are about 2,000 different Italian indigenous grapes, and about 350 are in commercial production right now. In the Roman times, it was available to everyone, even the lower classes, like even slaves were given wine. So water quality was terrible. So they actually, and the wine was very strong, so they actually watered it down a lot, which to us sounds, you know, sacrilegious, but they say it was much stronger. I would imagine it'd be like, you know, liquor at that point, but I don't know for sure. They preferred sweet wines and white wines and would add honey and herbs to their wine.
No.
Yeah. The Pompeians.
Just because you can make wine out of something doesn't mean you should.
The Pompeians worshipped Bacchus, which is the god of wine.
Okay.
And then, so in medieval times, it was mostly made by monks, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Dante Alighieri, his definition is the wine is born from the perfect fusion between the heat of the sun and the earthly juice of the vine. And then there's the religious emphasis, obviously, like the blood of Christ, you know. They basically made drinking wine as a vice, like, bad. Like, they really only wanted it to be, like, church wine. But,
well, then
you know,
Jesus shouldn't have turned water into wine then.
But you know what? Fuck them, because this is my biggest vice.
Yeah. Oh, it's not a vice.
Okay. This is when oak aging came into the picture. So wine was drank usually within a year and not often aged. Mediterranean wines did last a little longer, but not years and years like now. And back then their water quality was terrible, so they actually diluted their terrible water with wine. So they were cutting it the other way, trying to make their water more drinkable, which is kind of funny. And wine was a part of workers' wages. Laborers would refuse jobs if they were given either no wine or terrible quality wine.
Sounds like somebody else I know.
Are you looking at me?
No.
No. Okay, so the modern times would be 1861, like unification of Italy and beyond then. Much of the grapes harvested in southern Italy were sent to the north and then to France and Germany as like blending wines. They didn't have much of winemaking presence themselves until later. I'm not going to go through all the different classifications of wines, but there's several. There's like DOCG, DOC. If you guys want to look, I'll probably post my notes somewhere. But
okay.
There was one. This is the funny thing to me. One of the lower classifications is Vino da Tavola.
What?
Yeah, table wine.
Well, I mean, that's like But that's classic, like.
But that's the funny thing, that they're calling that a lower classification, but Super Tuscans were listed under Vino di Tavola for a while. Yeah. And
really?
Super Tuscans are freaking phenomenal wines.
Wow. Well, so is our Vino di Tavola.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, so
that's like when you go into a restaurant though, and you just say, "I want the table wine" or like the house wine. That's
exactly. Well, that's exactly what it is. So it's it's a blend. It's it's in their eyes a lower. It's not a Barolo or something like that.
They're usually like priced cheaper than all the rest of them. That's just how it is.
Exactly. Well, and that's the funny thing is Vino di Tavola classified wines in Italy usually aren't sent out of the country. So like we're not getting Vino di Tavolas here, even though they would be fucking phenomenal wines. I'm pretty damn sure that I tried a lot of those when I was over there 10 years ago, but because I was drinking €7 bottles and blends and all that stuff, and I loved every single one of them. My roommates were all drinking, €5 Moscatos, but
Well, what you have to remember too is that even though people talk about aging wine, this ages well, that ages well, and that's all well and good. And I love an aged wine, the right kind of aged wine.
Right.
But 90% of wine is drunk at about a year old.
Well, and that's the thing I actually learned from the there's a TikTok page. It's her name is Warner. She's a sommelier and she's probably about my age. Her TikTok is Confidence Uncorked. Scott told us about her. She said that most wines don't have to be aged because the producers are aging them before they get to you. Most wines you get are not really meant to be aged. You drink them immediately, unless it's something special. You're not really going to age your wines.
Yeah,
which makes total sense.
Yeah, but then we accidentally aged our Montepulciano, and the Montepulciano 2016 is the best thing I've ever drank in my life, I think.
Yeah.
So that's what we won an award for that one. So
yeah,
somebody else agrees with me.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into Falanghina.
Okay.
So that's the wine.
I better have a little
more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the one thing one thing I want to add about talking about old versus New World wines is I think that Southern Italy kind of bridges that gap a little bit because their climate's more of a the Mediterranean climate is very much like the California climate.
Right. Absolutely.
It's a warmer. They're warmer climate grapes, so they tend to be a little bit fruitier, like the New World grapes. Although with the volcanic soil, they still have the mineral.
I'm really thinking Old World classifications because they're thinking the majority of Old World would be France, Germany, Northern Italy, all those like cooler climates.
Yeah.
Then you have the outliers like Spain, like the southern Spain, southern Italy, Greece.
Yeah.
Then the Middle Eastern places, but I don't know how much wine comes from the Middle East. I've never really seen much.
I don't think you see it here, but I know they make a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably most of it's for their own consumption.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right. So Falanghina. Okay. This is
Falanghina.
This is you
Sorry,
want to see
I
the
just
bottle?
wanted to say it. Sfelato.
So this is cultivated in Campania, and it has been since Roman times. There are going to be notes of minerals in this from the volcanic soil it's grown in. It is soft with excellent acidity, and it's slightly sweet and fruity. It's perfect on its own or blended. I believe this one is 100% Falanghina. Well, we don't know that for sure, but because you can say something is one varietal in Italy, and it can have, 15% of something else?
Yeah, I think 80%'s the line, isn't it?
I think it's 85, but I could be wrong.
All right.
The flavor profile for this is lemon, citrus, peach, almond, and honey. And this is supposed to be really good with seafood or light pasta dishes. Okay. I haven't tried it yet because I've been talking.
Yeah,
so.
I've been better at this. I can actually taste most of those in it.
Say that one more time. What am I supposed to taste?
How about you tell me?
Sorry, I was looking at Lambo because she's pretty.
She is very pretty.
Yeah.
You tell me what you taste.
Apple. Mm-mm. Hold on.
You don't think?
Maybe some green apple, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's not the notes I got, but I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tastes like a flower.
Yeah.
Florally.
Citrus blossom.
Nailed it.
So, yeah, it was lemon, citrus blossom, peach, almond, and a little bit of honey. I can definitely tell the honey.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, I believe...
I don't get the almond, but that's
yeah, I think the cheese is affecting my mouth.
Try a cracker.
I had a couple. They're good.
No, I mean to palate cleanse.
Yeah, I will. We'll get there.
Okay.
I'll be sitting here in 5 minutes, and I'll be like, oh, my God, I got the almond.
I really like this. This is not a lot different from our Frascati.
That's, well...
It's light body.
The thing is, it's a Southern Italian...
Yep.
I think it tastes
body,
more like the
citrusy.
Riesling to me.
You think?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, I think probably because of the green apple and peach.
Probably.
Yeah.
And our Riesling is grown where, Dad?
Our Riesling is now grown in Sassoon Valley.
That's what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
it's a warmer climate
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're getting it from Lanza Musto.
Yep.
Lanza Musto Vineyards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wooden Valley. Okay. So what else? What else you guys think of this, Beth?
It's good.
That's all you got to say?
Well, I mean, I drink red wine
I know,
99% of the time.
That's why I want to know what your thoughts are
Well,
on
you know when you're supposed to drink white wine?
when it's hot out.
When you're out of red.
When you're out of red. Yeah.
I was gonna say when it's hot out and when you're eating seafood, but yeah, when you're out
That's
of red.
everybody's
Although
answer.
our Frascati in this makes a good argument for drinking it maybe cold on a warm day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Put it this way. I drink so little white wine. Remember the last weekend we were open and I was like, I'm drinking one glass of everything?
Yes. One glass from every tap.
I think it was Joey looks at me and he goes, "You're drinking white?" So I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm
I
drinking.
know.
I'm drinking all 12 wines today."
I know, it's crazy.
But it's like when I'm drinking white wine, it confuses people.
Dad, do you think this would pair well with your butter pecan ice cream?
I think it would.
I think so too.
Yeah, I do.
Have we talked about that pairing before?
I don't know, but I got a Polly reference too. So
All right. Well, Dad, talk about your
mine will
pairing
ruin
real
it.
quick.
So
Okay.
Well, you do it after Dad finishes his pairing reference.
Well, I'm not, as most of you probably know if you've watched this before, I'm not big on pairing.
That's my job.
Yeah, but one day we were doing Little Italy days in Bloomfield, and it was hot as hell outside, and so I was drinking Frascati, and I was drinking it pretty cold. It was probably beer temperature, probably 35, 36 degrees, something like that.
We had the tap on ice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a little, it's a little cooler than you normally drink a white, which is probably in the mid 40s.
They say this should be 44 to about 54 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was hot as hell, and we were in front of the Scoops ice cream place across from West Penn Hospital, and I decided to go to get some ice cream, and I got some butter pecan ice cream, and I started eating it with the Frascati, and man, what a combination. And I was giving it to everybody, try this, and it was basically unanimous that they thought it was a perfect pairing.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, weird for me because back at that time I wasn't much on pairing wines with sweets because I was more into pairing it with
different cheeses
meats and cheeses and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now every time I run a wine tasting, I tell them that pairs well with our Frascati.
Yeah.
But anyway, so is the Falangina. So that's where we are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I am sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
No, this is pretty
Yeah,
good.
this is good. Yeah.
Beth, as soon as you're done with that one, we can move on to the next one.
So it's actually maple walnut ice cream. But remember the episode where Paulie is talking about why your shoelaces would be wet?
Oh my God, yes.
That's
all I think about when I tie my shoes now. I have to wash my hands every time I tie my shoes.
Why would they be wet? And Sil goes, I don't fucking know. But he goes, you ever go into a Ladies John? You could eat maple walnut ice cream out of there. And then he just keeps on going, and then finally Silvio just explodes. But it's funny.
Well, yeah, because he's talking about how your shoelaces are wet from bathroom floors.
Yeah, he says at the ends when you go to tie your shoes, the ends of your shoelaces are wet. Why would they be wet?
Yeah,
but it's just funny because every time he tells that story, I think of that scene, or vice versa. Every time I watch that scene, I think of him and his butter pecan ice cream pairing.
Well, you guys know
instead of eating maple walnut ice cream in a Ladies John.
Knowing what Paulie's like, it's probably more likely he pees on his shoes.
Probably
by mistake. Yeah.
Well, you guys know I'm a recovering germaphobe.
Yeah.
Like I used to carry like those those.
I didn't know you were in recovery. Congratulations.
Well, it's since Italy.
Okay.
Since Italy.
Oh, so it's been 10 fucking years.
It's been a
yeah,
long,
but
slow recovery.
you're never completely cured of your problems. Like I still don't hold the rail in a subway without washing my hands.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's just gross.
I know, but like I used to not hold it at all. Like I would prefer to fall over in a subway before I held on to that. And like I wash my hands constantly. Like I go to the grocery store and I have to come home and wash my hands. But I'm not carrying what?
So you're like putty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that bad. I'm not carrying the antibacterial wipes anymore.
Now you're going to get
would
your
you,
Seinfeld references.
Yeah, would you eat salad that Kramer made in the shower?
No.
Okay.
No. I would not eat anything made in a bathtub. No.
Remember the other day when we were talking to Pat and Jess about, I think we were talking about France or something, whatever. And then we started talking about cities that are dirty. And then somebody was like, oh, New York City's not that bad. And I was like,
oh my God.
I can't remember who it was, but I was like, no, it's disgusting. It smells like pee. It's dirty. There's garbage everywhere. And I love it.
Of course you do.
I was like, I would go literally to New York every weekend if I could.
My favorite city that we've ever visited,
Toronto.
Yes.
I knew it.
Because,
you were going to say that.
oh my God, it was so freaking clean. And there was, the environmentalist in me loves this. Every single place you saw a trash can, there was also a recycling can.
Yeah.
I love that.
And they probably actually use them.
They probably know how to use
I'm
them.
like, the fuck's here.
Oh my God.
Sorry, just kidding,
my
guys.
God. No, you're right.
Beth, you have to admit you were freaked out in New York one time
The time there was a rat.
when it jumped over your foot.
Yeah, this rat came within literally like an inch of my leg.
I will not wear.
That was rough.
I will not wear open shoes like flip flops or sandals in New York City because of that time.
Yeah, but we were like in a half a park.
We were
in
in
a
like
Battery
yeah.
Park.
We were
or
in
something.
Battery Park at night, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But I still won't. No. And then like in the
It's
subways,
better than getting lost in East Harlem by yourself on a bicycle
well, you know.
That's
at
true.
10:30 at night.
Yep.
Every time I see a rat in the subway, though, I'm just like, ew, stay 20 feet away from me. You're already too close.
We went from white wine to rats. All right,
Well, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Finish
bring
your
it
white
back.
wine so we can move on to the Fiano Diavolino.
Tempt me with a good time, why don't you? Pour him first. I don't want to waste it by chugging it.
You didn't even rinse my glass.
You're better off not.
Yeah.
You don't want to dilute it. They say
Yeah.
you're better off. Like the real wine tasters say, don't.
Well,
don't
you
do
know,
it.
and the thing is, when you're doing a tasting, they kind of go in series from like lightest to darkest.
Well, the
so
reason
it
why
doesn't make much difference.
I picked this one because this is a little bit more medium bodied to go second anyway.
Okay.
But okay, so this is Fiano Diavolino, and this was also cultivated in Campania, but this has been going back since Greek times. It has low yields, and it's best grown again on volcanic soil, which is most of Campania these days. It's a little bit more medium bodied, medium acidity, and has like stone fruit aromas. The overtones of
What's a stone fruit?
like how do you describe a stone fruit?
Let's just be honest. None of us know what the fuck a stone fruit is.
No, I do. I just can't. It's like a more
And I don't think any of us know what
Like
a
an
stone
apricot
fruit
or
is.
something?
yeah. That's what I'm
I'ma
thinking.
look it up.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like an apricot.
Yeah, I'm trying to describe like what makes it a stone fruit, but it's like an apricot. Yeah,
Go ahead, you keep doing your thing.
or like a
I'll-
peach.
I'll
like
find
I
out.
think. Okay. Anyway, the overtones of pear and almond, peach. That's what I'm thinking of, like for
Okay.
stone fruit.
Okay.
And then peach and honeydew, some pine nuts. It's got a good minerality, which I'm assuming comes from that volcanic soil. So this is actually white wine that you can age. This one
Okay.
is best within 5 to 6 years, but can be aged up to 15 years.
in the stone fruit family,
Oh, really?
a raspberry.
No shit.
Yep. Stone fruits get their name from the pit or stone in their center that's encased in a fleshy outer area.
Oh, okay.
Blah, 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 blah. Peaches,
Apricots.
plums,
Okay.
cherries,
That is where I was going.
nectarines,
I swear to God.
apricots,
I swear to God, that's where I was going.
mangoes, Lychees,
Never heard of it.
raspberries. Raspberries are actually not berries after all. They're stone fruits. They're actually aggregates of drupellates, meaning each raspberry is a cluster of tiny stone fruits that contains pits. You know, the things that get stuck in your teeth.
I wanted to say
I didn't
pits,
know
but
that.
I didn't
know
like.
that.
I didn't know how
It
to.
makes sense because it's almost like a rock in
Stone
there.
fruit. Yeah, a stone, like a pit. But I was like trying to say it more eloquently rather than just go, it's got a pit.
Okay.
It's
And
like
I
a
couldn't-
fucking apricot.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
All right, I'm going to eat more cheese. And then I'll have some more stone fruits. But go on.
Did you guys try it yet?
Yeah, it's good.
I
The
haven't.
stone fruit?
The wine.
I did. I like it. I think I like this one better. Not that I didn't like the first one.
There's more to it.
Yeah.
There's more to it. It's a little heavier. Oh, this is a good one too. Are you guys picking up on the pear and are you getting?
Yeah, I
the-
actually am.
Are you
Yeah.
guys getting the pine nut and almond this time?
Hold on.
Yeah, more so than before. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, pine nuts for sure.
Did I ever tell you guys about the first time I figured out where like pine nuts come from pine cones? I was in Ostia Antica, which is like the Roman seaside village in like outside of Rome. It's like 30 minutes by train or something like that. We were there for a school trip and we're all looking at all these ruins. There's a whole bunch of, it's my whole class. So it's, 30 of us. And my teacher said something about pine nuts and we're like, what are you talking about? She goes, oh yeah, you guys don't know they come from pine cones. So all of us start gathering up pine cones and just like breaking them open on the sidewalk, trying to get pine nuts out of it. She goes, guys, you're surrounded by Roman ruins and you're looking for pine nuts? I'm like, yeah, this is interesting. Like, none of us knew that's where, like, no wonder they're so fucking expensive, though, because they're hard to harvest. And most of the time, like, we were opening up tons of pine cones that had nothing in them because the freaking squirrels were getting to it first.
Do you remember the time when we worked at Enrico's, Maria accidentally got a whole case of pine
God.
nuts?
Oh, my God.
Larry sent her over to Penmac to get pine nuts to make pinoles, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She came back with a whole box, like a box. It was like 20 pounds. And pine nuts are expensive as hell.
A little thing of pine nuts is $20.
I don't know what he wanted her to get, but she came back and she opened it up and started making the stuff. And Larry came out and lost his shit. I felt so bad for her. She was like, what did I do? You told me to go get pine nuts. And he was like, the whole case? So he wrapped it all up and took it back to David Sinceri and said, you're taking these back. There's no way. Because it was like,
It
was like
that's
$600
ridiculous.
or some
That's-
shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure.
she didn't know.
One little-
He just said, go get a box of pine nuts.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
I'm sure David just packed, well, I mean, they probably had a bunch of little boxes in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, so he just sold them individually.
Yeah.
Because that's usually how he gets them.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting some?
Oh, yeah.
This, for reference,
Here, hold it in front of the camera over there.
this, for reference, full is 1 pound and it's at least $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
See, you learn something new every day because I always thought pine nuts were from Joe Pine. But that's a different story.
Can I have the Joe Pine nuts then?
Yeah. Let me double check that these are. Oh, yeah, they're still good.
Who cares? I mean, I'm eating these. I'm still eating those fig bars that expired in 2017. They taste fine.
Oh, God.
They're wrapped up.
You know what?
What?
This is terrible, but you guys
Great.
know,
They're aged. Huh.
you and Mom know I was the only one that was cleaning out your cabinets,
Probably.
right?
Do they taste like plastic?
I would imagine, yeah.
You know those pretzels Mom gets, those honey wheat twisty ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a
If
thing
you
of-
let them
oh
sit
my
there
God.
too long, they taste like straight
They straight, like-
plastic.
Yeah.
And then it's like 3 days before you get the taste out of
No.
your mouth. It's disgusting.
I regularly, when I still lived with Mom and Dad, would go through the cabinets like every year or so and clean out stuff. And there'd still be stuff I missed that like expired 5 years before. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Me and Maddie and Marissa were going through the cabinet one day looking for something to eat. And we found soy sauce that we thought expired like 12 years ago. We were like, what the hell? And Mom was like, I just bought it. And the girls were like, Grandma, where'd you get it? We have to take it back. It's 10 years old. It was like the wrong, like, you know how sometimes there's just random numbers and you think that it's the expiration date?
Yeah.
That's what it was like. But
Okay.
We were
So it
laughing
wasn't-
so
it
hard.
wasn't
And then
from the Sharp
then
Shopper.
she figured out that we were wrong. And then she was like, I thought you guys were going to throw my soy sauce away.
Oh my God. But no, you regularly, like, I warn people when they go to mom and dad's house, like, go through, like, check the expiration dates first.
Well, you just had to check your own expiration date, so quit throwing, what do you call it? Rocks in it.
Those expiration dates usually are
They're-
just there
well,
so
that's
they
the
can
thing.
sell you more.
That's the thing. There's no scientific thing that says this is going to be
No.
bad on this date.
If it's not moldy, eat it.
Yeah. And sometimes if it is moldy, eat it.
Yeah, don't be a little
Well, that's
bitch.
the thing. I had a cheese in my fridge that was still wrapped that said it expired 2 weeks ago. Totally fine. But
Hey,
it's cheese.
Don't be a little bitch.
I ate a half a dozen dried figs last night that had a white coating on them. So
Oh no, they just turn white. It's not mold.
you sure?
Okay.
Yeah. No,
If it is,
seriously.
I don't
He's
care.
okay with
No,
eating
they
the mold.
do. It's when they dry out. Seriously.
He's okay with eating
Yeah, of
the
course
mold.
he is.
The mold is always there. It's just an overgrowth. And I mean, if you're not eating gross, and I shouldn't say gross, but it is gross, but gross mold, you're eating microscopic mold, and it's the same damn thing.
Who is it? Mom and Kirk the one day that were trying to eat like 2-year expired mayonnaise, and I was like, "Don't you dare!" Like that is
That's a
disgusting.
different story.
That is disgusting. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's fine." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's really not."
You know what though? What the hell do you think people did before expiration dates?
Yeah.
And
You know what?
And people lived. I mean, they only lived to be like
Yeah, but
75.
The
but
funny
they
thing
lived.
is, like half an hour later, both Mom and Kirk both had a stomach ache.
Yeah, I think they
Oh.
probably convinced themselves of that.
I hope so.
I wasn't there.
I
but-
hope so.
Anyway, back to the wine.
Yeah, okay.
Stop talking about expiration dates and pine nuts.
Yeah, we can do that later.
Well, all right. So I mean that's all I have for these today. Because unless you guys want to open a third wine,
No, I don't think so. We'll still talk about these a little bit more. The one, Fiona di Avellino, this is where Tony Soprano's from, Avellino,
and where Jason Capel played basketball.
and where Jason Capel played basketball, yeah. So we could talk a little bit about that, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep,
About Tony Soprano or Jason Capel?
either or.
Okay, you got to have him on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have
We have to
Jason
have
on.
Tony Tony Soprano on.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. So
Except for Katie killed him, but that's a
yeah,
different
Katie did kill James Gandolfini
And Frank Sinatra Jr.
and Frank
Yeah.
Sinatra Jr.
Every time Katie goes somewhere, an old Italian dies where in the town she's in or the area she's in.
Yeah, I was in Rome when James Gandolfini died in Rome, and I got messages like, "Oh my God, what did you do?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm 22. I am not a hitman, but okay, it's my fault." And then we were in New Smyrna Beach when Frank Sinatra Jr. died in Daytona Beach.
Yep,
Yeah,
Katie's a murderer.
I have killed
How close is that? About 10 miles away? Or less?
20?
20?
20, I think.
No, it's probably only 10 miles.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe 15, but it's like a 25-mile or minute drive.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But you got to get out of New Smyrna over the little bridge.
Was it you that we were watching the executive card game episode, and you're like, "Hey, you killed 2 of the people at that table."
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you did. Hey, cheese fuck. Give me some food.
So anyway, this is the wine you drink
So anyway,
when you're in Naples,
Uh huh.
and you tell the guys in Naples that you want gravy.
Oh yeah, the
Macaroni
Polycene.
with gravy.
We have talked
Yep.
about the Polycene before,
Yeah.
where they call him an uncultured. They said, and he thought the Germans were uncultured swine or something
classless
like that.
pieces of shit.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Leave it to the gangster movie aficionado.
There you
Right?
go. There you go.
And again, we're all part German so that we can say, yeah, they are. That's okay.
The German part of me is a classless piece of shit.
No, at least,
Just
at least
kidding.
from,
Just
None
kidding.
of us like German food though.
let's put it. Yeah, I was going to say that. It's just, at least from a food
I mean,
Some of it.
standpoint.
beef and noodles, yeah, but like,
Yeah, but what about like Spetzels? Do you like Spetzels?
yeah,
They're
but I don't
okay.
go out of my way
I
to
like
get it.
Spetzels.
I don't like go out of my way to
And you
get
and I
it.
like sauerkraut.
I love sauerkraut.
I do not like sauerkraut.
sauerkraut.
I want to like sauerkraut. I try it every single time, but I don't.
If
care
you
for
don't
it.
like Kurt's sauerkraut,
And
you
you
don't
know,
like sauerkraut.
that's exactly
Period. The
it.
And
end.
the other thing is, I mean, schnitzel comes from there, which is veal.
Schnitzel's veal.
Yeah.
How's
Schnitzel
it?
veal.
How's it prepared though?
Actually, a lot
Is
of
it
times-
overcooked?
No, well, probably, but in this country, but probably just it's actually breaded a lot. It doesn't have the sauce, but it's breaded.
I don't like the idea that they drink warm beer over there though.
Well,
Like
you know,
what are you doing?
you know what? They'll
It's like
call-
room temperature.
Yeah,
Yeah, what are
they
you
call
doing?
you a classless piece of shit for wanting cold beer. I mean, that's just that's how people are. I mean,
True.
It's like your culture is right, everybody else's is wrong.
That's why Mom likes Mom likes warm beer.
Her Corona warm.
She'll drink a beer for an hour, and I'm like, that's warm.
Dude, I have to drink
it's
mine in
disgusting.
20 minutes or nothing. Like,
Yeah.
after 20 minutes, I'm, ugh.
And then there's Anna who will open a drink, and then like an hour and a half later, I don't want this anymore. Do you want to finish it?
Ew.
I'm like, yeah, I would have finished it an hour ago,
Yeah, if you would have said something then.
but I can't now. It's like, it's warm.
No.
But mom's
no
just
warm
like,
beer.
yeah, da-da-da, whatever.
I will say my taste in beer is not great because I don't like IPAs and all that shit. Like, I want
Okay,
something
that doesn't
simple.
mean that your taste in beer is bad. That shit's too strong.
I just want a simple, like, for lack of a better term, like a
Labatt.
Labatt or a Molson or something like that.
Yeah.
Straight Labatt's wonderful. Regular. Not.
Did you watch that video I sent you of the Canadian apologizing for the wildfires and
Yeah.
our air quality?
Yeah.
Dad, there was this guy on TikTok. He was a Canadian. He was apologizing for our terrible air quality. He said,
Yeah.
we all stood at the border and tried to wave hockey sticks at it, but they caught on fire. He goes, but if you could do us a favor and send us your terrible beer that you're not drinking to put it out, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said it's basically water anyway.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny because this is years ago when I was doing the MBA at Buchanan
Yeah.
and we went to Canada.
This paper should get me an A.
Yeah. This paper.
EH.
My final paper
You just stole his
was
punchline.
entitled, no, it wasn't.
He wasn't
This
going there.
paper should get me an A, EH.
Did it?
Yeah, the professor liked it a lot. But anyway, there was what we did was we talked to a lot of Canadians in business and that kind of thing. And this one woman's talking to us and she says, yeah, American beer's like making love on a boat. And we look at her and she says, it's fucking close to water. That was a good one.
Didn't you put a picture of Shania Twain in there?
Yeah, I did.
And what was the caption?
I can't remember.
It was something like something about great Canadian scenery or something
yeah,
like that.
something like that.
It wasn't my brother watches you on mute.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I never thought of it. That was a good idea. I sat and listened to her.
Our cousins Ann and Jen told us that their dad, which is his brother Sam, they go downstairs and he was watching Shania Twain on mute. Just because he liked looking at her but hated her music. I accused you of watching Diana Krall on mute, but you actually like her singing.
actually like
Her
her
singing.
music.
So
She is very good.
Now, Taylor Swift's one I'd watch on mute.
really,
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
she's that cute, but I'm not trying to be mean.
She
But
is.
are you a Swiftie?
Dad's a Swiftie.
If I was deaf, I'd be a Swiftie.
Jesus.
She's nice to look at, I think, but her music is
I'm not trying
terrible.
to be mean. I think she's like I don't think she's like average. I think she's above average, but like she's not Kaylee Cuoco, Dad.
No,
Who's that?
Big Bang Theory.
Penny.
Penny.
Oh, okay.
Dad loves her.
Not Penny the kid, not the money. The other.
Yeah, okay.
The Penny she was named after.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Penelope.
Speaking of Penny, the kid, not the money,
Yeah.
she has to form a new gang.
Yep.
Our niece Penny, or his granddaughter, she's 9. They just moved from North Dakota to Missouri, but she was like the
Leader.
like the street boss of the kids' bike crew.
Are we surprised? She's Little
No.
Beth. She is straight up Little Beth.
She might not have even just been the street boss. She might have been the boss.
She might have been.
But Matt said that she would go out and run her crew all night and then come back at dinner time. So did he tell you about the time somebody,
Sent her home?
yeah, one of the parents was like, Penny, you have to go home.
It's
And-
time for dinner.
Yeah, it's time for dinner. And she walks in the house all pissed off. And Matt's like, what's wrong with you? And she goes, is it really time for dinner? Or did you tell them I had to come home? Or did they send me home on purpose? Like, did they kick me out? And Matt was like, Penny, it's time for dinner. And she was like, okay.
Matt motioned to the dinner plates, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, okay."
She thought that like the kid's parents sent her home or something.
Like making up an excuse to get her to leave.
yeah,
She's a funny kid.
she's my niece,
She is definitely your
Artie
niece.
Jr.
Party Junior. Oh my God. That time we had a family party at Dad's old house, and she was what, like 2 or 3?
Probably, yeah.
And Beth was
Eating all this cheese.
not intoxicated at all.
No.
No, definitely
Sober.
not. And she's trying to convince Penny not to go to bed. You're trying to convince a child not to go to bed against her parents' wishes. And she's like, she's like, Penny, do you want to go to bed or do you want to party? And Penny goes, I want to party. So then Matt goes to take her to bed, and she's screaming the whole way up the stairs, but I want a party.
I feel that, kid.
You know,
And he did get her back up, and then she was feeding our drunk asses cereal.
Yep.
nobody ever got drunk at those parties.
Never.
No.
Never, yeah.
None of your kids.
No.
Definitely not. Definitely not your adult
Yeah.
single kids. Beth, Tony, and I.
Yeah.
Like none of us were messes.
Mom's sending me pictures from home. Shouldn't she be at Grandpa's already?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll answer her.
My phone's on Do Not Disturb because we're using it to record this.
That's cool. Back to the wine.
Back to the wine.
Back to the wine. So anyway,
Why do people listen to us? I say this every
We're
episode.
not sure that many people do.
Apparently, Eliza loves us.
Well, she's got good taste.
Eliza and that girl from the South Hills.
Yes.
So we at least have 2 fans.
And Danny Curtin has told us a few of his coworkers listen to us too.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess let's I always have to plug our Frascati.
Yeah.
Because it's just so fucking good.
It really is.
But anyway, if you're talking about a Southern Italian wine, I mean, Frascati is originally a Roman wine, which really isn't Southern Italian, but they do grow it all the way down into the South. I mean, the stuff.
It's Malvasia and Trebbiano.
Yeah, and probably a little.
And actually, one of our next wines for the next podcast is Trebbiano.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of Greco in most of it as well.
And Greco is the other wine we're gonna try.
Okay. And ours
Greco
is,
di Tufo.
and ours is grown in Puglia,
Mhm.
which is the heel, right, of the boot.
Yes.
Yeah, the heel of the boot, Puglia,
The heel of the boot.
as opposed to Calabria, the sole of the boot, where we're from.
Or I heard this once and I love it. We're the toe that's kicking Sicily's ass.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
that's our that's our Italian thing. That well, actually, it's like
Italians hate other Italians.
yeah, and
Nobody's as good as our region.
yeah. Well, that and and this is an unfortunate thing, but in all races, the darker you are, supposedly the worse you are,
Well, yeah.
which is ridiculous, but that's the way it is. So
We're
the-
Teroni.
Huh? Yeah. Well, what Sicily does is it gives a Calabrese somebody to look down on, and I'll tell you what. In the old days, that
They
was
did.
it.
Oh,
That
they
was
did.
it. I mean, I don't feel that way at all.
Well,
but
yeah,
in the
I
old
mean-
days, that was the way it was.
With Grandpa, he hated the Northerners because they looked down on us and called us Teroni, people of the dirt, people
Yeah.
of the earth.
Yeah.
Although I do love the polentone,
Yeah. Polenta eaters.
polenta eaters. That so I did some research.
I could go
Yeah.
for some polenta right now.
Polentone is considered like colloquial and like, kind of
Yeah.
like a joke. But if you call someone Teroni, like it's an insult.
Yeah.
But calling them polenta eaters is okay.
But we are going to have a Polentone wine.
Yeah.
Are we going to have a Terone wine or no?
No.
Okay.
Why?
No.
See,
Because
I would.
That's an insult.
I
Like,
would because I would consider
I'm gonna call
that.
it Southern something.
So is
had to make-
Dago Red.
I know, but yeah, I don't know. You might be able to convince me, but I'm La Capa Vinaya now, so
Yeah.
this
she
shit
makes the
stops
calls.
here. I make the calls now.
It all started with the
Get that look off your face.
It
you
all
little
started
asshole.
with the rosé and the Chardonnay.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone we haven't talked about that yet.
Go ahead.
But so
Yeah, you're going off the rails, and I can't make a Terone.
Well, I'm going off the rails because I knew that moving up into this area, people are gonna want a Chardonnay. Although I'm not gonna oak it.
I'm agreeing with you.
I'm not gonna oak it though, because I think it's better unoaked.
That's where you draw the line.
That's where I draw the damn line. I'm going to do an unoaked Chardonnay and a rosé. And I told Dad one day, I said, Beth, I don't know if you were there for this, but I said, Dad, I think moving up north, we need a rosé and we need a Chardonnay. And he goes, yeah, I don't know. And then the next day he comes to me and he says, I did tell you you were going to be in charge. This really is your decision. I said, I'm glad you said that because I already ordered them. Like that morning I had talked to Ronnie and ordered the wines. I was like, I'm glad you said that because I already did it. He goes, oh, okay then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah.
The younger generation kicks the older people up the ass and puts them the hell out. Can't wait till we die, so you can make.
Whoa.
some
Please don't.
decisions.
Shit.
Please don't.
You're making me feel like Junior Soprano.
Just by making a Chardonnay and a rosé.
Yeah.
Yeah, you little bitch.
Do you want me to dump them?
Nope.
You know
No,
I'm
let me
right
try.
with those.
Yeah, I know you're right. That's okay.
I mean, I'm making dry wines. I'm not making any Moscato. You made the Moscato. That was your decision.
Yeah.
That was your decision.
We might have to start doing something like that again.
Like what?
I hate to
A
admit,
Moscato.
Like a Moscato or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Moscato. See, there's a reason I run this and not Ian's.
Because you like to hit the buttons.
Because I know what the fuck I'm doing. When I'm funny, which is all the time, I could just sit here and just...
Yeah, but the problem is you're going to do that only when you're funny.
I could do one of those, you know, those office, like, desk
Play your song.
things.
Play your song.
Yeah, but it's not as good. I want Rosie
Yeah, but play your song.
I want Rosie to be the...
When the moon hits your eye, it's like a pizza pie. That's a mole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get...
That's
we can
their
get
niece. My granddaughter sings it that way.
That's a mole.
We're going to get some Papa Joe clips on these little other buttons here.
And some John Sterling and Mike Lang.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I think we're good for today, though.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's enough. I think we kicked the shit out of this topic, and
Hope everyone listened through my
Moved on.
boring history stuff, although I have had multiple people tell me they enjoy me being the fact person, so...
no, I like it. That works because I'm all opinions, so it's a good thing.
Well,
that somebody. That's
we were just saying
too.
We were just
Retweet.
saying before we went on the air, but Beth's like, I don't know what we're talking about. I said that's good because your reaction is, you're learning stuff along with our listeners.
Yeah, I never know what's going on. I just show up and kick ass and go home.
Yeah.
And we probably should pack up and start moving on to Knox today.
Go see Grandpa.
Yep.
Yep, we're going to see Grandpa, and we're going to win. One of us is going to win $10,000 today. We're not sure which
Hope so.
one of us.
Me.
I have 2 tickets, so
Okay.
You have 2 tickets?
yeah.
I have debt, so I need it.
Mom knows that I'm a gambling addict, borderline. Not joking.
No, not borderline.
I always say I don't make enough money to have a gambling problem, but
You might now.
you never know.
Yep.
Mom and I
not.
got into an argument the other day. She's like, you can't go to the event. Like, this was like 2 weeks ago. She goes, you can't go to the event. You don't have a ticket. I was like, yes, I do. She goes, no, you don't. I was like, I looked in my wallet. I pulled it out. She goes, when did you get a ticket? I said, I bought this from Grandpa like 6 months ago.
It wasn't 6 months
Well-
ago. It was like 2, but okay.
But I was like, I bought this from Grandpa months ago. She goes,
6, that was
whatever.
fuck.
It was
I bought.
February? Okay,
She,
so not
she
6 months ago.
asked me if I wanted one like 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So I paid her. She brought me the ticket. And then Grandpa was like, oh, buy a ticket. And I was like, oh, I already have one.
Well,
He was like, well, buy another one.
I
was
didn't
like,
have
okay.
any. I didn't have any cash on me. You loaned me the money, and I
Yeah,
Venmo'd
Grandpa's
you.
quite the salesman.
Grandpa
I should
is-
take notes.
Grandpa is something. Oh my God. Could you imagine getting him on this podcast? That would be so much fun. He wouldn't do it
Yeah.
though, because when I tried to record him for something, he wouldn't let me do a camera. He just did audio.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I don't want to be
You
on
know what,
video.
though? There was one time, it was Christmas, and I don't know how it started, but he went like in depth of being in, where'd he go in the war?
Korea.
Or no, he went to Japan during the
Well, yeah, it was, It was Japan.
Did
He was
Grandpa
stationed
Frank
in-
go to Korea?
He went to
No,
France.
he went to France.
They were
during
both in the Korean War,
Okay.
but Grandpa Frank was stationed in,
They didn't
France.
send all the soldiers into the war.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like crazy, like the things like Grandpa told us on Christmas.
Oh, we had like a 20-minute video of him talking.
We had a video?
Or audio of
Audio,
him
audio.
talking for
No, I'm saying,
Veterans Day last year. Was that what it was?
yeah,
for?
because it was for a post. I'm
Yeah.
saying one year on Christmas, he was like telling us all about all of his brothers, about how, who died? Was it their mother? And one of them was still in Vietnam or something.
Yeah.
And they had to like, they sent a letter.
It
and
wouldn't
he
have been
didn't-
Vietnam. It would have been World War II.
Well, no, Grandpa's.
Stationed in
All of his
Vietnam.
brothers were stationed somewhere else. There was like
Yeah.
2 of them in
But it would have
Korea.
been. I think it would have been during World War II because Grandpa was a kid then.
Okay, whatever
Yeah.
it was. One of his brothers was in the service when their mom died.
Mhm.
And I can't remember what year she died, but he said that they had to like send a letter over and
To let him
he
know.
didn't know his mom died for like a month.
Yeah, that's
Just because that's how it was.
That's terrible.
But just like those stories that like we need to get those
Oh yeah,
to where we either record him talking about it or just know what's
that was-
going on. Because like it's not going to be forever, you know?
that's the thing. Obviously not looking towards a day when he's not here, but I say all the time that our nieces and nephews and our eventual kids are gonna look back on these Papa Joe videos and gonna fucking love them.
Yeah. But
Because
I always say this
gonna,
about
they're gonna get Papa Joe and have a million videos of it. Like we don't have that of Grandma Ida and Grandpa Frank and Grandma Emsler. Like
right.
Yeah.
I wish we did.
I always tell him that someday when him and Aunt Mary Kay and Uncle Sam and then all their cousins are just bullshitting, telling stories, talking about Uncle Dom and the card games and all that shit.
Uncle Frank and the
Uncle
games.
Frank, that's right.
Yeah.
Can we
He
just
got kicked
record
out of
that?
Dominic's, right?
I'll bring my phone. We'll record that.
That's what I'm saying. Sometime I want to,
Yeah.
or even just bring the podcast stuff up. Uncle Sam said we could come over and do one there and just like every Easter, everybody
Yeah.
just tells stories.
Oh, all the
Yeah.
Italians and the Erie mob and all
But-
that stuff. Yeah,
Like once their generation's gone, if we don't
these stories
know
are gone,
them,
yeah.
then they're gone too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last week when we went up to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, you were talking to the
Yeah.
Erie guys about
Yeah,
more
and he,
like
he
mob
knew all the
stuff.
mobsters, and you know what? He I couldn't remember the name of the guy that ran the Erie mob for a long time. He was
Is
named
it
after
Ray
your nephew.
Ferrito?
No, Westfield Jimmy.
Westfield Jimmy.
Westfield
He was
Jimmy
named after who?
was named after Jimmy Black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Westfield. We should call him Westfield Jimmy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Remember when he used to be Jimmy 2 times when he was little?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a video of him when he's like 4. I'm gonna go get the papers. Get the papers.
I love that. All right, let's stop talking these people's ears off.
All right.
All right, we'll talk to you later because we're gonna do another podcast on a couple more whites and well next one I think we can do 4. We can do 2 whites and 2 reds.
Okay, that'll work. Yeah, because we need a little more.
We needed an intro here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it works.
How long have we gone, Beth?
52 minutes and 31 seconds.
Oh, that's
about
a good one for
that's
us,
a
yeah.
Good one. Okay.
All right.
All
Stayed under
right.
an hour this time.
Yeah,
It's
right.
it's a fucking miracle.
Damn.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you next time. It's been
Hail to
fun.
Pitt.
Hail to Pitt.
Centani.
Centani.
Deuces.